Hey everyone, welcome to another Wildewitch RP live play TTRPG session. What is Wildewitch RP? Well, that's me, Faye, game master and storyteller, and Lachlan, our writer and producer. We're a couple who love sharing stories, so much so that we quit our day jobs and we created our own company. That way we could create high quality and exciting TTRPG experiences full time and share them with you. And tonight we're playing D&D. This session features the Burning Veil storyline. It's set in our very own Velinara campaign setting. It's a deeply personal tale of trust, betrayal, magic, and magnificent ambition where the fate of the world hangs in the balance. Knowing things already. With us at the table are several of the incredible players who have joined us on our grand endeavor. If you'd like to play alongside them, you're more than welcome to join us. You can ask in chat or hop over to our Discord where you can find out more information. Now, speaking of our awesome players, it is time for introductions. Like I said, I'm Faye, Game Master and Storyteller. With me is Sirenscape, who brings all of our background music and sound effects. It's a fantastic and affordable sound collection that you can find at sirenscape.com. And now, we get to meet our courageous, daring heroes as they make their way through the Shadowed Repository alongside their newest acquaintance, Fallen Drunk. But let's learn who they are. And we'll begin with an introduction for Bracken.
For Bracken. Intro for Bracken. Hey everybody, it's me, it's Thresh. We're playing Bracken tonight. Our Kender monk fighter, who's great at punching things, and that's about it. He tries his best everywhere else. He's a pretty good cook, depending on who you ask. And he likes to party. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Next up for our introductions, why don't we learn about Avi?
Hi, I'm Kelsey. I play Avi. Avi is a half-elf bard sorcerer. She cares deeply about her friends. She is constantly humming and singing, and she is just a little spooky.
We love a little spooky.
Mm.
So, let us move on and learn about Cecil.
Hi, my name is Brent, and I play Cecil Darkholm. He is a Forest Gnome Cavalier. He's been dealing with some heavy stuff since he's gotten to Vale to Umbra here, even though it's only been a brief time. He's trying to lean on the strength of his sister through the moon, even though it's not the same one she looks at right now. And her being far away has been ever more challenging. He's ready to support his friends and do whatever he can to also keep the distant home he was banished from safe from harm.
Oh yeah. And then, last but not least, let's learn about C.
Hello, everybody. My name is Bo. I'm playing Z. They are a homebrew artificer class called the Bone Cobbler. I mostly work in necromancy and like dark magic. Z is kind of having some internal issues. I think they're just in a very rough place when it comes to being in the situation that they're currently in at the moment. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing much else to report.
Alrighty. Well, with the introductions coming, it is time to dive into our session. And we return to the you are with Phalendronix, having met her in the repository, and she has joined your group. As she searches for her own companion, who has been lost amongst the corridors, as you search for Varro as part of your agreement with the Watchers. You are looking for the Arboretum, because that is where she believes her companion to be, based on her research. And as we begin, you are walking. You having any sort of thoughts or conversations with each other?
Cecil's mostly keeping to himself. He's pretty shook after that thing ate a secret.
I think Avi would notice how closed off Cecil has been, and it's keeping an eye on him, but won't push for anything. So I believe we had a conversation, like, if you talk about it, it'll make you feel better.
I think Z. I really think that after what happened to them with having a secret taken from them, I think they would be. I honestly think they would just be like sitting, like wherever they are right now, they would just be kind of in a like a sitting, like a squatting or sitting position, just kind of arms on their knees and kind of just staring into the middle distance. They just don't know how to feel about it.
I'll turn to Valandronis. How far do you think this place is?
Unsure, honestly. It could be closer than we imagine, but farther than we fear.
I guess that's a good way to look at
It is especially troublesome when it comes to the formation chambers that cause a shift in the design of the labyrinth.
it. Right. We'll just have to be careful now, won't we?
Yes. So, what do you do to move carefully and keep your eye out?
Bracken will keep his head on a swivel as we surveying the environment. Sure.
I'll join him in that.
I'm gonna stay further behind.
I'll be in the middle somewhere.
Alright, so, anyone kind of keeping an eye out and looking around, I'll ask for perception checks.
Okay. Mm,
Hmm.
that's double, so that's like
As your group looks around, keeping an eye out, Bracken, your attention's kind of focused on your new acquaintance.
yeah.
You're focusing on the fact that,
Why they only kind of?
yeah, like the, Palindron is having that, sort of, ethereal and, unsubstantial fading at just, like, the edges. Just... I'm trying to parse through that, Cecil and Avi. You're not seeing any sort of current fades. Not right now, at least, but you're keeping aware of what you know. The memory eaters, as Falendron has called them, in their different forms. The sort of transparent nature of the walls of formation chambers, and the sort of shiftings there. But you see no signs of it. It's good for your group. What is Z doing in the back?
I think they're just in their own thoughts. Just thinking, and thinking. They're confused. They don't know what to think or what to feel. This, I guess, one little question they had about something has now turned into ghosts and soul-eating creatures and mind-bending, just absolute asinine things that they never thought would occur to them. But they are just quiet.
As you are staying quiet, you would notice that someone kind of has fallen in step alongside you, and it is not Triana. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't even really look at you, Z, but as,
look over to Nachiana. I just, by the look on my face, it's downcast, distraught. I have to say, it's looking more gaunt than usual.
Uh, so you would notice that Nachiana, she glances at you, and she's still kind of keeping quiet. But in a moment, and when she does manage to lock eyes with you in a moment where she's looking over and you're looking at her, she gives like a almost nonchalant kind of shrug. And what is your passive insight?
Passive insight is 11.
I'm not quite sure why she's here. It's hard to read her, but she's here nonetheless.
Natriana, I appreciate your company. I really don't think I should be alone right now.
Well, you know, I don't think anyone should be alone when we're in an area that's as dangerous as this. She motions to the labyrinth around you. Especially if we can easily kind of get lost. But, you know, your, whatever's going on in your mind, she kind of makes motions. You don't have to, like, distance yourself. The others, us, will help you. Even if just that means protecting you while you're zoning off. I don't think they'll do anything. So,
Well,
your Axis might kind of, and the whole trusting, but right now it's not really a whole matter of trust, mistrust, and everything. It's a matter of we're in a dangerous place and we're looking out for each other.
yeah, I understand that. Never mind. I'm gonna almost kind of speed up my walking.
So, speed up the walking and for some distance with the group. Yeah, just double check my DM privileges. We love DM privileges here.
Player confidentiality.
Avi,
Hmm.
you would be the first to kind of feel it. A tether, one of those threads.
Mm-hmm.
And as it kind of moves along you, it's not quite as intense as when Cecil tried reading something, but it seems to speak to you. It seems to whisper Var, as if this is Varro's thread, but it's faint. But it's present.
I think I got something.
If you would
What
like,
do you have?
if you or anyone would like to try and further the threads, I will remind you guys of our Arcana rolls.
I'm sorry, what was that?
If you would like to further investigate the threads, just a reminder that it is an Arcana roll to do so.
Okay, I'll do that. It bounced off of a 19. If that counts for anything.
Cecil, as you try and... You're not really familiar with the arcane, but through the different rituals that you've been exposed to in these recent weeks, you kind of see where Avi's trying to draw on the materials that are metaphysical, and you do the same. And you end up getting something, Cecil. That same sort of faint sensation of Varro's thread. And with your 17, you kind of can read into it. Varro passed through here. You don't know how long ago. You don't know exactly where he's gone, but he went through here. And likely went in the direction that you are walking, since you've not seen him in the directions that you came from.
I think Vara's been through here. I think we're on the right track.
That's good.
Let's keep going then.
So, as you are soon see the area begins to shift. The walls of shelvings become just walls, stones, and the ceiling begins to get higher until it almost seems like you're inside. And you come to Calendriel's arbiter. There is a soft, flickering glow of gray and misty candle. You see a serene, sacred enclave. The sanctuary, tranquil, nestled here in the more ethereal aspect of the Shadowed Repository. You seem to be standing in a courtyard, a place of quiet contemplation. You see these ornate, smooth stone benches that surround a peaceful, shimmering pool. It is adorned with delicate lilies. There is a gentle babble of water, though none of the water seems to move. You feel a serenity almost immediate, tranquility that waves over you, seems to permeate the air itself. And there does seem to be more domains to your left and to your right. But there are figures here in the courtyard.
Avi wants to comment so badly on how nice it is in here, but also doesn't want to ruin the quiet.
Man, it's pretty nice in here.
Oh, goodness.
The two figures that are in the courtyard look over. And one of them, seeming to be a sort of caretaker, looks curious at your group, as if pondering a thought. The other one just seemed surprised. She looks up from where she was tending to some plants by the pool.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying it was pretty swanky in here.
Well, you may have triggered something again.
Well,
It seems, your activist will say, the only thing that was triggered was some curiosity. Nothing wrong with that. Though perhaps it will be rude to speak so brash. Area of this deserves some decorum.
But we have to be careful with it. I thought we could just waltz in here and say hello to everybody we encounter, but that's not the case. That's all I was trying to say, was just we need to be careful.
right? I'll lean over to Z. At the end of the day, it's just two nerds dealing with a bunch of plants. We can handle that.
Well, one of them looks like a caretaker, perhaps. They know, or they can help us.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
That's what I thought with the last, with the others.
Avi
should
will
say-
walk up to, moving closer to the figures.
The woman would be the first one that you would approach. She's closer to you than the caretaker who is curiously pondering you. The woman has turned back to the plants near the pool, and as you get closer, you would see that she's not just tending to them, but instead she's actually harvesting them.
What's she harvesting?
Well, what are those?
Oh. They are medicinal. Will help those that find sanctuary here, should they need it. It's good to take some to keep your stocks well stored, but we don't want to take it all, or else we'll be out of it sooner than you think.
That's very nice.
Nice, practical. It's the same through different lenses.
know if you could help us. Our friend here is looking for her friend, and we think she might be here in this area.
Well, who is it that you might be looking for? I might know of them, and if not, you could always ask Brother Aelendor. And she motions over to caretaker.
So I'll look to Dalandranus.
As you look over to Thalandronis, she's looking with wide eyes around her at this area, seeming to be a bit taken aback, a bit in awe. She's taking it all in.
I'll kind of Dalandranus, kind of get her attention.
As you do so, she turns slowly towards you, still kind of awestruck.
Your friend?
My friend. And it takes a moment. She seems like she's having to just actively search her memories. Yes. Survivor. And as the woman on the ground listens. I've not heard of a Silvaria.
Well, that's too bad.
But, as I said, perhaps Brother Aelendor is known, and if you need any sort of lotions or poultices, you can ask around for me, Sister Thandora.
Thank you. It's very kind.
Gives a nod.
Could I inspect the medicinal plants from afar?
It'd be harder to do so from afar.
Okay. How close would I need to be to make it less difficult?
Every bit closer will lessen it, but if you want it to be the most accurate, you have to be, like, right up there. Because that's how you'll be able to see, like, any of the small details.
Okay.
Like, if you've ever looked at, like, different plants and it's, like, the smallest detail can be poison or help.
Okay. Okay, I don't really have anything that I could use. Okay. Could I try to snake closer? I mean, that's stupid, but
Yes, but just that way you're aware of what sneaking would constitute in this moment. You'd only be moving quietly. It's an open space, so you would be seen.
yeah, I think I'm just gonna like slowly just inch closer because I just want to look at it, but I don't want it to be too obvious.
Then, I'd say, instead of doing a stealth, roll for me a performance to see if you can pull this off without drawing any attention towards you.
Cool.
Sure.
No, well, no, never
Sure.
mind. Never mind. Just ignore that.
So it's quite obvious that you've got an interest in these plants, which the sister will pick up on. And oh, are you an herbalist yourself?
Yes, I'm just interested in anything that is more medicinal. Could you share with me some information about it?
Yes. This one here is quite, it's quite mild on its own. Doesn't really do much, but when it's applied to the other plants or ingredients, we'll say, it, it's almost a bit of a binding agent. Helps create the glue to staple what you're needing to together. Sometimes, with the right other components, can act as a bit of an amplifier.
As an amplifier?
Of a sort. It only really complements a few other plants in this way, but it helps make them just a tad bit more effective.
Well, I do have a few. I do have a few things that I could use that for. Is it what can I give you in return for a little bit?
Well, we aren't of any sort of need of coin here, but I'm sure that the other in the hall would appreciate a donation of some sort of knowledge. It's always appreciated the entering of a new bit of knowledge.
Interesting. Well, I definitely would have some knowledge to give. And I pull out my notebook. This notebook is filled with all of my findings as a necromancer of sorts. Not really of the kind you would think of, but
Well,
it's
I've
all of my
been
findings.
I've been here for quite a bit of time. I've seen many spirits pass through. I'm sure that you're thinking of yourself a bit more lowly than what you've probably got to offer to the world.
No, it's more of...
I'm sure that whatever you've been through, whatever things you think of yourself, you're not the only one out there. She just gives a bit of a wink. Go about and why don't you talk to the others and I'll prepare some of this for you. It's a bit particular.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I will just go back and join the rest of the group.
So, there is still the caretaker who's been watching you curiously. Does anyone wish to go over and speak to him? Brother Aelendor.
I will.
As you
I'll move quietly.
usually done. As you approach, you would notice that nearby, of course, are tools to tend to the grounds, but it's not what he's holding. In his hand, there seems to be a stone tablet.
What are you working on?
It is a message that was left behind. I've been struggling, but then your group arrived, and I think it is a song.
How so?
I think that perhaps you may be able to assist. And read hold it out. The spirit that gave this is that by discovering message, it will lead to a piece of vital knowledge for the Arbitrum's well-being.
I could certainly try. I'll take a look.
Yeah, as you look at the stone tablet, you see that it is the words are inscribed into it, and what you see is a river of knowledge bends and flows, carrying hopes and dreams. Its end portends the doom of that which would be preserved, where lay the lost words of Zoltharak, annihilation challenge.
Zoltharak.
That is what it says. I am unsure. Perhaps the brothers and sisters in the Hall of Ancient Scrolls may be able to pick up on the information that I lack. Perhaps you have it, though. Or you can ask them if you do know.
I certainly don't. Hey, y'all, you wanna come take a look at this?
Cecil will go take a look.
You see the same thing that Avi saw.
Does it ring any bells?
If you want, you can try a history check.
Yeah, probably not.
Does anyone else?
I mean, why not? And let's see. It was a history check?
Yep.
Okay.
Nope. Don't have anything coming to mind. Natriana looks blank in the face. It does not seem that any studies outside of Thalaris' purviews had any interest for her. Meanwhile, your Exabase is again looking over this with a sort of hunger in her eyes, much the same as when she was looking at the Watchers. it sounds that the Hall of Ancient Scrolls is a area of research. It is a specialty of mine. Perhaps we ought to head over and put a bit of investigation work to skills, yes?
That certainly wouldn't hurt.
Brother Elendor would point off to the domain of the left, and that seems to be the Hall of Ancient Scrolls. Go ahead. As you are making your way over there, I'm going to ask for Arcana or History checks, since now you've had some interactions with a few people here. Bobby, Z, and let's see what Bracken gets.
Yeah.
Arcana or History.
Arcana or history? We're gonna go with history. Because Bracken doesn't really know me either.
That's totally fine. Avi and Z, from your interactions and knowledge prior to going into this, and now you're starting to piece together that not all of the denizens of the Shadowed Repository were dead upon arrival. Some came here as living souls, much like yourself. But it seems that after enough time, the bodies of living mortals waste away and die almost imperceptibly.
Hmm.
So, you enter into the Hall of Ancient Scrolls. This is the central hall of the Arboretum, and you notice that there are areas where it fractures off different areas of the building. But in this portion of it, there are shelves filled with scrolls and manuscripts, and a grand oak table where there are scholars that pore over ancient texts. And as you are entering in here, and you see these figures, Bobby, I believe you would be the one that's physically closest to Fallen Granites, yes?
Sure.
You would see her light up, and you notice as she moves over to a figure, and then stops. She seems for a moment excited and now confused as she stands and looks at this librarian. And
Follow after her.
go ahead as you approach. Roll for me an insight check to read the situation.
Yeah, sure. That's a 21.
There is recognition on both of their faces. But as you approach this librarian, he seems a little wary. And you would notice that Alendronis seems not only to recognize, but confused. Miss Sylvania, what happened? And he looks to you, Avi, and then to Alendronis. It's Sylvania. Alendronis, it's me, Sylvania. And she furrows her brow. Shakes her head. As long as it's still you. Well, now that I've found you, we need to go back to Plumnor. He shakes his head. I'm sorry, I need to continue my work.
I don't mean to interrupt, but Alendronis did go through quite a bit to find you.
I understand, but I have a duty here to the Arboretum, and there is a situation that has occurred, and it is making this is a conversation that could happen, perhaps if it wasn't for the present circumstances, but seeing that they are as they are, I must direct my attentions elsewhere.
Well, what happened?
We are missing very important scrolls. I'm almost certain that the Wishmen are responsible, but I need it here. Preserve the catalogs and the scrolls. So I can't journey out to seek their lair.
Well, where would they be?
They lair outside of the Arbitorum. They're in the corridors. As I said, my duties to preserve and catalog all that are here keep me here. I can't go out and search for the warden. If you are wanting to perhaps help Thalendronis to have this conversation, which, again, needs a time that's less stressful. You can help me get these scrolls back, and I can get back to placing them where they are. Maybe a conversation.
Maybe.
I can't make any promises that the response will be conducive or in any sort of favor of one way or the other. But I can promise an attempt, and
That's not good enough.
what do you expect? That I
You
drop
want your
everything?
If you want your scrolls, I need a firm yes or no.
Well, I can't give that in this situation. Have you
Well, then I
seen...
guess you're not getting your scrolls back.
Then, fine. I'll find someone else, and we'll be able to handle the situation in a manner of time that is dependent upon the people that I can send out. Thank you, he gets back to his work.
Man, what was up with that guy?
Well, I guess that turned out a lot better than what we were expecting.
Well, we can continue figuring out what is going on and what happens after our ad break. So please stick around with us. We will be back to continue our story here very shortly. Please let the ads run. They're very important and help us keep all of our games affordable. And we will be right back. Alrighty, we are back in action. And as we return, you are in the Arbitorium. You've met Valandronis' friend, who seems to be Silvarian, not Silvaria. And there's some confusion with Valandronis upon this fact, but it seems that the Hall of Ancient Scrolls, where you've met this figure, is under its own sort of stressful situation with some missing scrolls. That Silvarian is trying to handle that situation. But we come back to Gilbert, and I ask, what are you doing?
I mean, I'm sorry, I know you've been looking for him for a while, but to get his scrolls for just a chance to talk to him, that seems like a whole lot of dangerous for a maybe.
If that is... yes. Of course, it was... very dangerous. Very dangerous to just come here. And if I must wait longer, I've this long already. I can wait until the situation's handled.
I don't know what to do, y'all.
Maybe there is nothing we can do at this point except move on. Keep moving forward.
So we leave everyone here to just kind of sit in their own. Look, I know that you're untrustful of anyone. And I know that you're kind of upset over him being an ass.
I'm not upset.
Machiana kind of gives a look.
I'm just saying, it's a whole lot of dangerous for a maybe.
It's a whole lot of dangerous for a lot of payoff. Look, these people are right here in the path where Cecil said Varro came through. They might know where he is, and if we can do stuff to get them to like us, maybe they'll help us. But they seem to be in a lot of their own trouble, or a lot of their own heads. And we're just gonna fuck off and go into a dangerous path without even trying to see if we could get anything here? I'm just saying that I'm with you guys. I'm watching you guys.
No, you're right.
I mean, I'm personally with Avi that I don't like doing shit for free on the promise that maybe something will happen. But that's just me.
But this whole thing has been a maybe. What?
I.
What do you mean?
What do you mean this whole thing's been a maybe?
Everything from the start. Never
Hey,
mind.
Everything from the start. You need to back up a minute there. From the beginning.
Ever since we first entered into this maze,
Mm.
it's been a huge maybe as to whether these people could actually help us. Or maybe this is just something we all have to live with till we die.
We have been kind of wandering.
Thank you. We must keep to the task at hand.
If anyone would like to roll for me a history check here.
Ooh, we get some tension.
Cecil and Avi. You know that in return for Varro, the Watchers have promised help. So that's not really a maybe. Now you can understand why Z might be frustrated. But your efforts of capturing Varro will have a definite result. You know that, the two of you.
I agree with Natriana.
Yeah?
If he has been through here, and they know something, getting the scrolls might help us.
Yeah, something, any direction would be helpful, I think.
But don't we still have these threats in us? Aren't they, well...
The thread got us here.
Exactly, so maybe we just rely on the threads more than risking our lives for... You know what,
No, finish.
Then
For
risking
people
our
in need?
No, then risking our lives and all of us not making it.
See, I've already settled with the fact that I might not make it back. I'm fine with it.
I don't think we're going to be getting out of here without Varro anyway. Just have a feeling that the Watchers aren't going to let us back until then. Any direction through this maze, even if it's a maybe, or a potential of getting help, should help us.
I'm not crazy about it, but whatever. If we do it, we're gonna.
Is everything like a transaction for you? Natriana will look over at Bracken.
I'd like to be able to get something for what I'm doing.
Alright, so, alright. Let's put this into a thought factor, alright? What if you meet yourself, right? And yourself
Okay.
needs help. but you won't do help unless you get something out of it in return, and your other self won't do nothing until he gets something out of it in return, and you both don't want to promise anything ahead of time. What'd you do then?
Well, if I need help
Right.
and another me comes along and I know how I operate and I'm in need of help, I'm going to give them something because, hey, if I give you this and you help me, then we both get this done. Problem solved.
Alright. But if you weren't giving yourself something, like you just saw yourself, right? And
Well, I know me. That would be dumb not to. And it would also be rude, frankly.
So
Going
you're gonna
around asking random people, hey, can you do this thing for me? I might give you something after, maybe.
well, okay, what if you can't promise nothing until you have the thing that you're missing? Like, what if that thing is super important to what you can do, and you
Okay,
can't do
so-
nothing until after you get it?
So if somebody said to me, hey, can you get me this book? After I get the book, I can do this, this, or this for you. There we go. That's something to go on. Instead of just grasping at random straws in the dark.
So it is everything's transaction for you. You can't just do something because you're nice, or you like someone.
Look, I'll do something if I want to do something, but if somebody's asking me to do something and I don't know them and I don't know what, anything's going to happen because of it, or if it's putting me in danger, if it's a zero-sum game and at the end of the day I'm putting my life on the line to get something for you, I would like something in return. I think that's a fair thing to ask for.
Well, you don't know that your life's going to be put on the line until you do it, do you now?
Well, if my life's not on the line, then why can't this guy go get his own scrolls?
Because he's got his own business that he's doing here. Don't you know anything about having a duty?
Yeah, I do, but usually in the line of duty, you usually get some recompense in rewards.
Right,
So-
and we might get recompense and rewards.
Oh, we might. Oh, goody.
Yeah, it's called a leap of faith. Sometimes you just gotta have faith in a stranger. Like, I had faith in you guys, sort of, after you didn't kill me.
You see? It's not that easy now, is it? And this guy just lit up one of our own team for asking maybe we don't get the scrolls, which kind of turns me off a little bit.
Alright, okay. Just wanted to ask.
Yep.
But also because
No, Z, you... Go ahead. The floor is yours. Bracken already said his
Listen,
piece. We don't need to listen to him no more.
Yeah, all right.
sometimes other people have a rough time trusting others.
Yeah, we heard from
Because
the
of
whispers.
their history. Yes, because of their history. So maybe Bracken just wants to have a firm guarantee that
We
stuff's
can't
gonna happen.
have faith in someone else. No, I get it. I understand. You don't need to explain that.
I just
Look, I am a person who comes to a quick decision on a lot of things. So if I feel like something needs to be done, that's how I feel. If I feel like someone's a threat, or they stole something or anything like that, I'm quick to make decisions. Are they always the right decisions? No, I'll be the first to admit that. But if you don't do something and you just wait until something else comes up, your life's waiting. That's what you do. Like, you just gotta do something.
but sometimes that something
You just gotta wait. Because you only ever wait. You wait and wait and wait, and sometimes you'll do something because you waited for it. Or you're doing something because you're waiting for something else to come up. Everything that you do when you wait is just part of waiting. Sometimes you just have to settle on something and do it. So we're settling on We need to find Var. And helping these people might help us in that area. Right?
Right.
You don't trust people, I know. So you wait until they do something for you to trust, or to validate that you don't trust them. You're a waiter.
But also, I have something that I would like to live for after all of this is over. That's why I'm here. It's because
Don't we all?
Yes. We all do.
Being a waiter and being a doer has nothing to do with if you live or you die. If you want to live, fucking live. Do something to make sure you survive. But that doesn't change the fact that you're just waiting. She looks over to Avi. Look, if the rest of them ain't gonna be with us, where do we want to stop?
Oh no, I'm coming. I'm just not on the same page as all. I just don't want. I'm not a big fan of this group. I'm still with you.
All right, well then, if Mr. Not a big fan, where you got ideas of where we can start?
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, that's great.
I'm asking for ideas here so that way we can do something instead of just arguing about doing something.
He said that they lair somewhere outside the Arbitum. Just outside? I don't know. But if we find them, if we're gonna find them, we need to get out of here.
Sounds like a good start then.
We can.
We're good.
Fallen is nearby. We can try where we entered in from. See if there are signs. I'm unfamiliar with this sort of denizen, so I would imagine that they stick close to the borders of the Arboretum.
It's a good place as any. Let's go and do what has to be done. And Avi will start walking to where they came in.
Dragon will fall.
Yep, I'm in.
Natriana moves as well, staying closer up towards where Avi is. Thalendronus just sort of floats behind. Yoraxibus, however, watches for a moment and watches Z. Hard to read her expression, especially when her eyes are full molten gold. What does he do?
Face is their mouth is very tight. Their expression is somewhat unreactive, if that makes sense. It's a very neutral expression, but it's stressed, if that makes any sense. Lady Eurexibus? Is something wrong?
Just a curiosity. Nothing more.
May I ask what your curiosity is?
Yourself, is he?
What for? There's nothing to explain. And I'm just gonna start following everybody else.
She doesn't elaborate anything further as I try and draw out a conversation. But your group does proceed. And how will you all look for the Wispmen?
Cecil's looking for signs, I guess.
Yeah. We're literally with our eyes.
Oh, I love that. Take an inspiration, Bracken.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very super Beckett.
So,
Yep, that's about right.
Bracken, can you explain to me what a 6 will get you?
Bracken's kind of, he heard we were looking for scrolls. He's looking for scrolls. He's kind of checking in bushes nearby, that kind of stuff. Maybe he dropped them somewhere, under benches, anything.
You're looking in this area because obviously it's his fault that they're gone.
Yep.
As soon as you get out of the arbitorium and the shelvings become once again filled with the different tomes and scrolls and tablets that you've seen before, it's, well, you've done your best. Avi.
He'll still be looking, but he's not really,
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah, now it's just kind of grazing over with your eyes, not actually investigating. Avi, can you explain what a 6 investigation on your end would look like?
It's a mix of a disappointment in herself and others. She is disappointed in herself because it took her too long to settle on doing the right thing, which is something that she strives to do. She knows what she's supposed to do and she gets it done no matter what. The fact that the argument happened at all in the first place is disappointing. And that's all she can think about.
No. So, as your thoughts become a little crowded with the situation that led to your current endeavor rather than the actual task, it's a little harder to find what you're looking for. But you are trying, it's just your thoughts get picked up and turned around. You get lost in that. And then we have to take an ad break because our stream went down. So, we will be back to continue on with Cecil's check very shortly. Alrighty, we are back in action, and as we are returning, Cecil, you have a 13 on your perception. Could you explain to me what that looks like? What are you doing?
Yeah, Salandrana said there were signs. Cecil's looking for signs. Like wooden signs that have arrows.
Well, Cecil, you're not quite finding any sort of wooden signs with arrows. Nothing quite like what you would see in Darkholm. But you do, as you're starting to try and figure out where to go with these labyrinthian turns, there is a tingling at your fingertips. And you think of two of the different threads that you had felt during your journeys here. Maybe the Wispmen have their own sort of thread that they leave behind.
I guess he'd switch to looking for more of a trail then, something, some pattern, some signs that people had been through.
Go ahead then. Why don't you roll for me a survival check for going through and trying to find a trail. What is it, Max?
$18.
It's strange what you find. It almost looks like a puddle. But as you get closer, it's not quite watered. It seems to be of a sort of almost shadow, but a quick touch of it, it feels like oil. But the oil quickly becomes tacky and sticky.
Hey everyone, I think I may have found something. Maybe it's some sort of residue that someone left behind here.
Avi will move to look at it, but is intentionally not directly looking at anybody.
I think maybe it's like a footprint or just some sort of residue from these shadowy creatures. Maybe the Wispmen themselves.
I've not seen secretions like that from the other denizens I have experience with. It is likely of the Wispmen.
Well, it's something.
Something's better than nothing.
You're right. It is.
Natriana will, taking the direction based off of what Cecil found, start walking.
I'm following.
Me too.
Did I observe that stuff real quick?
Sure.
Or
You see that it is like a puddle, but instead of it being water, it seems to be shadow or essence. But a touch to it has this oily sort of texture and feel to it, except that as you rub your hand together, that oil becomes tacky and sticky real quick.
could I put some of it in my mouth?
Sure. Give me just one moment.
Sorry. Oh boy.
You'd eat the spider.
It is a very sort of acrid taste. It almost tastes like how BO smells.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting. And whatever leftover I have, I'm gonna wipe it off on something and then
put it in my backpack for later use.
Okay. Following where Natriana just kind of walks. Why don't we get another round of checks or abilities or spells or anything you think that might help you try and find the Wispmen in their little hovel.
Oh no.
Oh no, Cecil.
Cecil, no.
Cecil, why don't we start with you? How does a 2 look?
He's probably looking on whatever type of ceiling or thing for some reason, thinking there could be more shadowy goo piles above us, even though he knows they are on the floor.
Okay, good to know. And then why don't we, Avi, what does a 15 investigation look like?
It's mostly keeping an eye on where Natriana is. While every so often glancing towards the floor. They're quiet sniffles from Avi. Every so often a hand to her face. But she's on task now. She feels like it anyway.
I would say that you all are close enough that be able to overhear the quiet sniffles coming from Avi's direction. If that would spur anyone into any sort of actions.
Cecil will walk over and just, it's okay, Avi, we're all under a lot of stress and we all want this over.
I'm fine. Thank you, though.
We'll figure this place out. Cecil continues looking at the ceiling.
As Cecil continues to look at the ceiling. Bracken.
Yeah.
Can you describe to me what a 17 investigation looks like?
Bracken's kind of picked up on some context clues from the group. And he's making more of an effort going off of what he's picked up so far.
Okay, putting in a little bit more of an effort. You are starting to not look at the ceiling, unlike some of the others anymore.
Not names.
Not naming names. But let's get a visual from Z. What does a 22 investigation look like?
Well, I think after they put that substance in their mouth, I definitely think that they might have not gotten a better sense of what is going on, but maybe they're more aware of what might be around them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, as each of you attempt your bits of trying to find these so-called wisp men and trying to see what's happening. Cecil, unfortunately, we don't see any sign of them on the ceiling. In fact, we even sort of trip over something. Can I get a dexterity save?
Oh no. 12.
12. You fall on your ass.
Oof.
As there's more oil here. More of those puddles. And Avi, Z, and Bracken, you would see that in the sort of shadow that is created by the little nooks and crannies and the sort of almost fumes of the oil that's on the ground here. There is an opening, an entrance to who knows what.
I immediately start looking in with my because I believe I still have the tinkering on my arm, so it's kind of emitting. Oh wait, don't I? That's weird. Okay.
Now, if you're using the tinkering for light does only last for an hour.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, I'll do magical tinkering, and I will make my arm as a source of light and like move it through that entryway.
Can I get a dexterity saving throw?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, you can. God.
So as soon as you give your arm light, you see for a moment something in this, as you're looking around, there's like a warren, but you don't have quite enough as it's then throwing more oil that coats your arm in this darkness, covering any sort of light that would come out of it, and then you hear all sorts of snickering and giggles. All of you would hear it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Well, that settles it. And Avi will walk in.
Bracken will follow.
Just
This is gonna slip, slide, and follow too.
who amongst you has dark vision? I know Avi does.
Cecil.
Dork vision. Bracken.
I don't. But I have. You said that all the source of light from my arm was snuffed out, or
The way that the oil is kind of slicking it and coating it, Bracken, I don't believe Kendra do get dark vision.
Yeah, I said I don't.
Oh, I asked who does, and I thought you said Bracken does.
Yeah, no, I said Bracken doesn't.
Okay, doesn't. I didn't hear the.
Okay.
It's alright.
Gotcha.
It's something
We
that
got this.
happens when we
Okay.
play over the internet.
Yeah, you know it. What I
Okay,
do have is a sandwich. Hey, sandwich.
Sandwich, I love you.
Oh, you guys can.
But
Okay, so my source of light would be gone essentially.
it's still going. Like, you haven't lost the spell. Like, if the oil gets cleaned off of it,
Mhm.
but this is that oil that as you touch it, it kind of spreads and gets tacky, so it's not easily moving off of it. So you're gonna have to get like a deep bath. But those of you that do have dark vision inside, you see that this sort of Warren, you do have to kind of crouch down for Avi. Cecil, it's about perfect height for you to just walk in. Which means that it's perfect height for Bracken too.
Let's go.
You would see that it is filled with all sorts of trinkets. As well as what could be considered traps. There are more puddles. There are dirt clumps that kind of stick to the ceiling and move or drop every so often. There are slingshots. And there are almost shadow figures here. They have a bit of a substance to them, similar to Thalandranes. They're kind of blurry around the edge, but instead of having any sort of physicality, it's more of shadow. And they're the ones that are snickering. They seem to be the source of the laughter.
I'm moving carefully, trying to avoid traps. Seeing the trinkets laying about, I've just double checking that my chain is tucked into my blouse,
Okay, yeah.
kind of hidden. And I'm just looking for scrolls. That's why I'm here. I gotta get them.
Investigation or perception?
Okay. Oh, well, it's an 8 investigation. I'm really concerned about my necklace.
Cecil, would you like to also look for scrolls?
I will do so.
Investigation or perception?
I would love to look for scroll.
You have at disadvantage for your roll because it is dark.
Oh no.
Goodness.
Cecil, you're just trying to get the oil off. You fell in and it's all over you.
No.
Oh! Ooh!
No.
Bracken, it's dark down here, and you just hear all these laughters, and then all of a sudden something falls on you, and it feels like dirt, but it's like gooey dirt.
Ugh.
Not happy.
I guess I could try and roll as well.
Disadvantage because it is dark.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I mean,
With the attempt of your eyesight trying to adjust, it's not picking up on much, but you seem to see something that's a little bit lighter ahead of you, and you can kind of point it out. And for those of you that do have dark vision, as Z points out, you follow their directions, and you do see the scrolls. They are unraveled. Atop of the ground, there's some oil puddles beneath them, and they seem to be a playmat of sorts, as there are a few of these figures gathered around rolling dice upon these scrolls.
Oh, bless. Alright.
okay, but why is that kind of sweet though? That's kind of adorable. I know it's supposed to be scary, but it's adorable.
Is it supposed to be scary?
I don't know.
It's just happening. Not everything I do is meant to terrify. So, Avi,
Okay.
what are you doing?
Are all of the scrolls being used as dice mats
It does look like all the scrolls are being used as some sort of playmat
currently?
currently. They're rolling the dice actively as we speak.
Avi, I'm gonna call out. Maybe not call. I mean, I'll get a little closer and be like, "Who's in charge?"
I'm in charge. No, I'm in charge. I'm in charge. I'm in charge.
Which one? Which one?
Roll a intimidation.
You got it. It's an 11.
They all start pointing at each other. He's in charge! He's in charge!
I need the scrolls.
Well, you can't have them. They're ours.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. They're here and we're using them. That makes them
You
ours.
can either give them to me now or I will take them.
Another intimidation roll, please.
Be better, please. 18.
Goes quiet. One of them kind of picks up the dice off of it. And then another steps away. The last one that's remaining by these. Well, what's he gonna use them for anyway?
That's none of your business, is it? As I start picking up scrolls and shoving them in the bag of holding.
Okay.
Could I cast Prestidigitation to make Avi's voice boom throughout the area?
Wrong cantrip. Prestidigitation is, you're looking for thaumaturgy.
Oh wait, it doesn't? Prestidigitation can't do that?
That's not prestidigitation.
Oh, right,
That's
yeah.
thaumaturgy.
You're right.
But once I have all the scrolls, I'm heading out. I don't want to be here any longer than I have to.
So, as Avi makes her way out, what do the rest of you do?
I mean, we got him. Time to go.
I'll follow out last, and you know what? Let's just troll him a little bit. I'm gonna cast Pyrotechnics.
Oh.
And just flash him. Flash bang him, if that makes sense. Just poof.
You need to have non-magical flame already in that area. It doesn't conjure the flame.
Yeah.
No, never mind. I'll just be like looking at them, intimidating them as we walk up.
You feel confident that you've done that. You don't know how confident you are that you only had a general idea. It is dark in their warren. But as your group makes it back outside, scrolls in hand, in bag of holding. What would you like to do?
I'm just heading back to where we came from. I'm not entertaining conversation. I'm finishing the job.
Okay. Roll a history or survival check to make your way back to the...
Don't make me look like an idiot. Thank you. 22.
Yeah. So you seem to remember the way that you came. And it doesn't seem that the walls shift. None of these areas seem to be formation chambers. So you lead the group back to the Arboretum, and once again you enter into the courtyard first, and there's that babbling brook, the tranquility that is heavy in the air, and might be perhaps choking in a situation where tranquility isn't quite so easy to grasp.
I'm me personally, I'm just cutting through. No nods or kind smiles to figures I've spoken to. I'm going straight to the Hall of Ancient Scrolls.
Okay. What about the rest of you? How are you
I'm following
faring?
along. We got a job. We're doing a job. Let's finish it up.
And Avi's clearly on a mission. Cecil's just trying to keep up. His little legs.
Little legs. As you make it to the Hall of Ancient Scrolls, you notice that the librarians are still there. Silvarian, doing the best that he can. He probably, again, didn't know that you had left, based on the way that your previous conversation had gone.
I'm gonna walk right up to him and just start pulling the scrolls out and tossing them on the table.
The first scroll that hits, sort of has careful, and then you would notice that he recognizes what these are and moves the other scrolls out of the way, so that way any oil doesn't transfer.
Got your scrolls back.
I see. Thank you.
Don't thank me.
He kind of gives a strange look, but won't say anything more, and will begin the process of clearing the strange oil off of the scrolls. Do any of you do anything as he cleans off the scrolls?
I mean, Bracken's just kind of waiting there expectantly. One way or another, a shoe's going to drop here, and depending on which shoe drops, Bracken has a response to that.
Same here.
Do you need help cleaning them off?
It would be appreciated, but I'm not going to require anyone to do anything here.
You don't like giving straight answers, do you?
You seemed to be in a particular mindset the last time we interacted. I'm
I understand,
not.
and I apologize.
If you are wanting to assist, I will gladly accept assistance here.
Then I will start prestidigitating the oil away.
Okay.
I understand that you're busy. There's a lot of work to be done here, I assume. But maybe you could help us just a little.
I can try. I
We are
can't make promises, but I'll do what I can.
We are looking for someone who passed through here, named Varro. Ring any bells?
Many souls pass through here, and names can be shaped.
Sure. Lord. Ridley. Varro Ridley. If it narrows anything down.
It does not. Avi,
Hmm.
can you remind me of a item in your possession? A certain ring?
Yes. I have my husband's ring on a chain around my neck.
I was thinking of a more magical.
Oh. Yes! Insight check.
Alright, you've got advantage.
Thank you. It's a 28.
Cool.
July.
Okay, I understand that my demeanor is off-putting to some people. But I promise you, lying to me is only going to make it worse. And have I been talking to him for about a minute?
Yeah, you'd be talking to him about a minute now. But he stops his work and looks you right into the eye, Avi.
Mm.
This behavior of mine has nothing to do with your actions currently. Things are in place that are beyond what you've done. Though, if you assist around the arboretum, help it flourish more so than what has already been promised, perhaps deals can be renegotiated.
Bracken's kind of off in the corner, just shaking his head on this one.
This
You're
may seem
asking us to do more work.
I'm
For you.
asking you to do more than what has already been promised to me. If you want information that has been promised away. Make the better offer, and you'll get the reward you're after. It's all a bargain, no?
He's hiding Borrow.
Avi is staring this man in the eye. Has not backed down at all.
Say the word and we can do it my way. You know how I like to.
Could I walk up to him?
What needs to be done?
I'm not the only person here. I'm not the person that tends to every need. I tend to the scrolls. You've done a great offer and helped get them. And I appreciate that. I thank you for it, whether it is accepted or not. But if you want the aid of the Arboretum, you need to earn it. You need to give something or do what needs to be done. Right now, we have been promised a great aid. And until that deal is bettered, that is the deal that we honor. You are welcome here. Do not think of us turning you away. It is a sanctuary for any who need it.
Abby will step back and walk away.
Z is gonna have like a... It's not visible, but you can... This is kind of just envisioning it. It's almost like a dark cloud comes over their face. Their face darkens. All you can see is just their bright white, like, eyes through the shadow. They walk up to that person and, like, take out their arm and just lightly put it around their collarbone. And then just gently start squeezing the claws into their shoulder.
As you do this, you would sort of feel that there is a presence there, but it's not full. Like, it's not the same sort of solidity that you and your companions have. It seems that this figure has been here long enough that that mortal shell is starting to fade. If not has faded entirely.
With that just confirms what I thought. I let go. And I turn around and I just walk back. I was gonna say something, but it's not worth it anymore.
As Z leaves, you would hear, I would prefer to not be the target of any sort of physical threats in the future.
That wasn't a threat. It was just me confirming what I was thinking.
If you touch people without their permission, it's hard to tell what is a threat and what isn't.
Then maybe you should keep your promises. And I just turn and I walk. I'm done.
Bracken, Cecil, do you
Yes.
do anything here? As Abby and Z leave?
I'm leaving too. I don't want to start nothing
Okay.
until we're all ready to start something. And you know what? That's growth for Bracken.
It is growth for Bracken. Good for Bracken.
Good
Heck
for
yeah.
Bracken.
Bracken!
It's for Bracken.
Bracken can get a gold star on his report card now.
Hell
doesn't-
yeah!
Collect people's teeth unless his team are ready for it.
And
Heck
this
yeah.
cad rib.
Yeah. Crab neck.
Smash cut Cadrib trying to offer Ron all of his tea, and Ron's just like,
Oh.
no, you don't need to do that.
Don't need those. Yeah, I wouldn't want them either. They're not that good.
But back to you guys. Is Cecil gonna do anything here?
Everyone's just like walking past, and Cecil's like, oh, okay. Listen, guy, what? Off the top of your head, give me something that we can do around here that's gonna trump this other deal you've got with Faro.
I know that Brother Lorendor in the garden was working on something about the Elder Tree. I don't know the specifics, but we'll be able to speak to him in the courtyard. I'm sure that there are things in the refectory and the archives as well, maybe even with the Stargazer.
So you don't have one thing that we could knock out for you. You pointed me in 4 different directions.
Those are the areas I know that Loranda has done with the Elder Tree. I don't often make my way out to the garden, but he has spoken over dinner. Connected to the hall, we have the refectory, the archives, and the Stargazer cell. They might have things going on there, but my knowledge, my purpose, is to care for and catalog these scrolls. That is where I keep my focus. The Arbitorium has problems. That is something that happens. But our duties and our cares are not just for us. Anyone who passes through here is offered the sanctuary. It means that we can't always tend to our needs as we tend to the others. So if you want to assist, there are people that are in need. But until then, we honor the deal that will benefit our figures most. So that way the sanctuary that we run here can continue to provide and sustain. I'm terribly sorry that's not the answer that benefited your group the most.
Yeah, I get it. Are you able to tell me what deal you made?
Unfortunately, no. Too much information on that deal may sully the promise that we've kept.
Alright. You people eat down here?
Some of us do. Not all of us are
There's
dead.
food? You grow food?
Yes.
Alright. And Brother Lorendal is the guy we spoke to earlier that led us to this guy.
No.
Right? No? Different guy? Alright.
That was Brother Aelindor.
Of course. Okay, I'll shuffle my tiny legs after everybody else.
So where is everyone gone? The most direct area outside of the hall is, of course, the more tranquil courtyard, with plenty of areas to sit and sort of calm down, reflect.
So what now? We just run on these guys' leash till they actually give us what we want, or
He's here, and they know where he is. He being Varro. It seems he's made some deal or promise, and they're holding it to quite high value. We just need to outweigh it.
I mean, as frustrating as they are, you can at least give them that they've got some sense of loyalty.
Pretty sure that loyalty benefits them as well, considering they're getting free labor.
Alright, I'm not sure if it's loyalty or just whatever the best deal on the table is. I suppose you can call that loyalty.
It's a loyalty of a sort. And who knows?
Yeah.
Let's think about it this way. Not free labor. She kind of waves in Bracken's direction. But, whatever Varro has promised them, right? He's not doing the work here. Then we wouldn't be doing nothing. If we do this, it shows that, maybe we can get their loyalty. We do this stuff, we show that we're competent. Bam. Our pockets.
Yeah, that guy back there pointed me in 4 different directions. One of them stronger than the others of where we can make a difference here. It's super annoying and I get it, but it's just a math problem to them. We just need to have more than what Vara's offering.
I mean, it's sensible, your expert says. Frustrating, but sensible. I wouldn't do anything different if I was in their position. People come barging in, asking for certain things. Ask for things in return. But who is asking the ideas of an old woman?
If I'm being honest, I don't think we are able to work together at our full capacity because I think we are all on separate pages.
Well, is anyone able to offer a separate course of action? We took a magic portal to get here. We don't really have a way to get out. I don't think the Watchers are going to bring us out until we've done what we came here to do. Maybe we should have asked that before we left, but we didn't.
Yes, but the discussion we had earlier, I think it's apparent that we are not working well together as a group. That's all I was saying was...
Well, I don't think that's true at all, Patreon say. I think that perhaps our reasons for being a group are a little off. But we're not gonna be the same person over and over. But you put us together against something and the job gets done. I think that constitutes working well as a group. I think we just need to kind of sit back and think on our reasonings. Get back to the whole why are we here, which is to get Varro. And to get to Varro, we need to either ditch this place and wander around for who knows how long to find him, or we outbid whatever he's offered. I think that's been made clear. I don't know why we gotta go back and forth on it. We can be upset about it. I'm not saying don't. I wasn't the most pleased to be amongst your company. Now I see that you guys are great people. Still don't really know you all that well, but I mean, I wanted you guys dead and being brought to justice when I first met you. I'll be honest on that. You know, maybe that's what our group needs, a little bit of honesty. Them whispers were talking about things, getting us all sort of looking at each other's backs. So why don't we take a moment here to sort of breathe in whatever scent those lilies are doing. Listen to that strange brook that I don't know where it's moving at. And we share some honesty.
But that's
That's what?
The-
Because you can't trust me? You can't trust your activists? You can't trust anyone?
No,
It's all a trap, right?
no, it's not that. My thoughts that were projected amongst it was not what it's not what it sounded like.
Then that's why we need the honesty, so that way we all know what exactly is happening. I'm sure that Avi over here being all disappointed in you and all this stuff, because we heard that in the whispers too. I don't know if anyone else caught on that.
Yes, and it's not what it sounded like. That's the thing is, I'm conflicted about what to believe and what is happening, and
That's why I'm suggesting this. So there ain't no conflictions. We all know why we're here.
it's not conflictions with you, it's conflictions about just
No,
everything.
it sounds like there's conflictions with us. Because you said that we don't work well as a group together.
No, it was that I want to make sure that we clear this up so that whatever happens to us, we can do it we can do it without dying hating one another. I know it doesn't make sense, but I know that everything has been built up as me being angry and not trusting anyone, and I understand that. It does look like that, but that it really is not my intention to be this way. And I just want to make sure that whatever happens next, we can work together. I feel like I'm just digging myself into a deeper hole.
I just feel like you're trying to walk around the idea of talking to people, talking to us, when that's saying what you want. And just going around and around in it. Like, I get it. You're new. I'm new. And these guys are like 3 peas in a pod. They just go wherever and they trust each other. Your activist is... Sorry, you're a little weird. But we're all here, and I don't even know you except for your name. Motions to Fallen Dronis. Look, I'm just gonna take a moment to think. I've said what I think we should do. And whether you agree with me or not, that's on you. I'm with you guys. Whether it's for the right reasons or not, I'm not leaving here without you. I don't think all of us can really go anywhere, and if we believe without one another, then, we just get lost in the maze. I don't want that for me. I don't want that for any of you. The angry librarian said that this is a sanctuary. So I'm gonna take advantage of that. Natriana will move over to one of the stone benches. Sit down.
And I'm just gonna apologize for any behavior from my part. And Zia will just turn and crouch and put their arms on their knees and move their cloak up to where it's just they look like almost like kind of trying to make themselves look like a rock.
Ad came up. The stream went down. Not all wonky. So, alright. We'll just go through this because the VOD will catch this. Sorry, live stream viewers. So we only got a few minutes left here. So, just to close out. We know where Natriana is. We know where Z is at. What about Bracken, Cecil, and Autumn? Where are you guys?
Avi was not necessarily part of that conversation. She's close enough to hear it. But the moment she entered this courtyard, she sat by the stream, curled up.
Just a note. You don't see a stream. The closest would be the pond. That is still.
The pond.
Yeah.
It's a body of water.
Yeah.
That she sat by. But she's curled up, hugging her knees, and with her face kind of just buried in her knees. Just trying to calm herself down. The conversation that she overheard did not help. She's just trying to ground herself before she enters any kind of conversation with anyone else. Because I don't know if anybody noticed, but she was a little heated.
I couldn't tell at all.
No.
Oh no, it was
No.
perfectly
Cecil
hidden.
noticed. Cecil tried.
I love it. I love it.
Speaking of Cecil, where's Cecil at in all of this?
Everyone's like, "Oh, this sucks," and Cecil's just kind of, giving facial cues like, "Yeah, this sucks," and I don't like it either. And then I guess he would probably be trying to have side conversations with anyone willing. Trying to convince people that even though it's a bit of a not straight path, we've got a path and no other way to go. So he's probably trying to, get people to buy into that. or suggest something different. And if no one would, then he would probably just go find this guy himself.
Well, we'll be able to pick that up in more in depth next week.
Yeah.
What about Bracken? Where's Bracken at right
Bracken's
now?
kind of off on his own. He's got a very "I told you so" kind of vibe right now, but he's not going to tell that to anyone because he doesn't want to break morale or anything like that. He's, you know, this is the bed we've made and we're gonna lay in it now. Mentality on this. Though he's checking himself to figure out more or less where his line is before he, goes off and handles this in a different.
Perfect. Well, as I've got notes for where everyone is in this current situation, so that way we know where we pick up next week. This is, unfortunately, where our session ends. So, I do want to say thank you to all of our players for playing. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was a bit of a tense one. What are good stories without those moments, right? Thank you to our viewers for viewing. I hope you guys enjoyed this as well. I'll see you guys all in the next stream. But until then, head over to wildewitch.com. Check us out there. Join us in our Discord to jump into a game yourself and keep up to date with all of our announcements. And, of course, as always, may the ever-burning light forever guide your steps. Laters.